All right, guys, thank you very much for coming back and joining us today. My special guest that I've got here with me, guys, is from the famous and infamous show Married at First Sight Australia. And you guys know that's how crazy that show was over here in the UK. So I'm glad to bring this guest on the podcast today. I'm joined by my friend Tamara Joy. How are you doing, Tamara? How's it going?
Hi, I am very well, thank you. It's been a minute since I've seen you.
I know it's been crazy. It's been crazy. I think last time we linked up, it was Bali 2019. That's the last time we kind of met.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like literally as soon as the show finished airing in Australia.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, and
something
then
like that.
it was because I think did you move to Bali? Were you staying there for a little bit? Because you were quite there for quite some time.
Yeah, look, I mean, I try to move to Bali all the time.
Yeah.
Bali is like a little bit of me, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like always back and forth. I have, one of my best girlfriends there. She's lived there like 25 years. And I've just always tried to make it work. But, the Bali vortex sucks you up and spits you out. So
Absolutely.
I generally probably stay there. I'd stay like, I don't know, 4 weeks at a time and then come back 4 weeks and then on 4 weeks. But, due to the pandemic, I haven't been able to get back to the island and I'm so sad about it.
I always feel like a lot of Australians like Bali is there because here in the UK our kind of go-to destination would be Spain and most likely like Ibiza and things like that, whereas I feel like Bali is their version of that. It's like Australians like to go to Bali whenever they need like a break or they need to get away and a little bit of island time.
Literally. But I mean, being in Australia, we're so far away from everything, so Bali is almost like one of the closest like little tropical getaways that we can get to. It's like 2 hours from here in the Gold Coast. It's only 5 hours from Melbourne, but it's like sort of the closest place we can get to. We're like stuck down here all by ourselves.
No, that's great. Obviously for a lot of people that are listening, if you guys haven't watched Married at First Sight Australia season 6, you need to watch it because it was explosive. And it's literally jaw-dropping. It was wild. And like, I've never seen, like, when I first watched it, I just moved to Australia because I moved to Australia 2018. And I literally, like, when it started airing, I was like, what is this show? And I just got hooked straight away. And like,
I mean, it's massive here in Australia, but like, I don't feel like it's that big anywhere else because they do like a US version and everything, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. But literally, I think your season has been the best among all Married at First Sight shows put together. Like, your season was literally like the best. Like, you guys set the bar.
Well, I mean, they definitely put a lot of big personalities in one room together, and I guess that's what was going to happen,
Yeah. No, it was, bro. Now, Tamara, how was your life? Obviously, pre Married at First Sight. Like, what were you doing? Because I know, was you born and raised in Melbourne, or?
Yeah. Sorry, my headphones falling out. I was born and raised in Melbourne. Lived in Melbourne my whole life. I literally sort of as soon as my mum passed away, I think I was around 25. 25. And I just sort of like quit my job. I was like, there is so much more to life than working 9 to 5. And I literally just like picked up and started traveling. And I don't think I've really worked a proper 9 to 5 job since then. But previous to that, I was doing human resources, proper corporate styles, suits and stuff.
So quite educated then, huh?
I just got lucky out of high school.
Like, obviously, like, when people watched the series, and well, for those people that have watched as well, they will see like there's a bit where your dad gives a speech about your mom and you kind of get teary. Like, what do you want to talk a little bit about mom? Like, what happened? And obviously I know mom, you're saying passed away when you were 25. Like, what happened? Like, how was it with mom? Were you living with mom and leading up to the time when she passed?
No, so I was with my boyfriend at the time. We were living together, and my mum had motor neuron disease, and she was slowly starting to just deteriorate, as that's what the disease is. And I think as soon as my mum passed away, like I think this sounds like really like bad to say out loud, but I was kind of a bit lost. And the guy I was with at the time, I kind of knew that he wasn't going to be my forever.
Yeah.
But I kind of held on to that relationship because that was my support, and he was kind of like my punching bag. And I do feel really, really horrible about that. I mean, he's like married and so happy now, so thank
Yeah.
God. Otherwise, I would have felt terrible, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But after that, after mum passed away, we sort of broke up. We had like a trip planned over to the States, Jamaica, you know, Cuba, and do like a whole big thing, Mexico. And then I was just like, I think he's going to propose to me. And I just
Yeah.
sort of was like, no. And that's sort of how that all came about. And then that's when I like quit my job and I started traveling really,
Cool.
and trying to make Bali work back and forth,
Yeah.
even before the show. So
Yeah. And how did you hear about the show? How did you kind of like go about that?
well, I actually got a message myself
Mhm.
on Instagram. My girlfriends applied for me to go on Love Island in Australia
Oh
like
yeah.
years and years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously they didn't submit the video or whatever you had to submit. And I got a phone call from Love Island. And they were like, you know, we'd love to meet you. Can you submit a video? All this nonsense. I actually was like, why not?
Yeah.
So I did. And then like that whole process just sort of like really came at a really bad time. I felt like I was going to be getting a little bit too old to go into Love Island.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I don't know, I would have portrayed myself, or well, I would have portrayed myself as me, but like it would have came across really negative, probably because I was a little bit older than all the other girls and I just wouldn't have been able to handle the drama. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just sort of decided no. And it was just like, and then I got a message being like, we have something that's probably more up your alley if you'd be keen. And I was just like, not really. But then I sort of had just gotten back from another stint in Bali and I was like, you know what? Why not?
I know.
So that's really kind of how it came about.
Yeah.
Obviously, I still had to go through the whole process though. Like, even though they approached me, I still had to apply online,
Yeah.
still had to submit all my videos, do all the testing. Like, it was still a proper process that we had to
Yeah.
take.
Yeah. And one of because I had one of the guys at the time I was living in Bondi, and one of my guy I was working with, he actually applied for that season, your season, season 6.
Yeah.
And he would come into work with a file that big. Like there was so much documents and so much stuff that had to be filled up. I think you guys had to take like tests, like you had to do like all the tests, like your, you know, your, what are they called? Like or your sex, like, you know, your HIV.
Yeah, like your STD test. Yeah, oh
STD
yeah,
test
we
and
had to
all
have
that.
the works, honey. Don't you worry about it. I felt like I was like applying to get into like NASA or something, you know, like we had like a full body like check and like, you know, you had to do like your healthy weight, you know, dietary, like everything. It was like pretty fine, like detail.
Yeah, it was because he was literally like at one point he literally just gave up, like halfway through he gave up. He was like, this is just too much. They asking me
It's
to
too
do
much.
this, and you know, I have to go back to the doctor, I have to do this test, I have to do that test. And it was
Yeah, you
just
had
too
to get a
much.
full medical check. It was wild.
Yeah. But
I mean, it kind of makes sense though, you know?
absolutely.
You want everyone to be safe.
No, that's true. So what was the process in terms of the guys then? Did you guys like stipulate exactly who you would like or what your typical guy you'd go for? Did you write that down, or did you actually get photos given to you to say choose, or how did that process go about?
No, so I came in as an intruder, so I didn't go through the traditional what everybody else sort of went through. But for me, I still had to tell them, you know, what my ideal type was, you know, what qualities I look for, all of that sort of stuff. So, you know, on paper, I guess Dan really was what I asked for.
Yeah.
But like when I got to the aisle and I seen the package down the end of the aisle, I was kind of like, oh no, it is all wrong. It's wrong. Like, yeah, but it's wrong, you know?
Yeah.
So it was a bit wild, but I don't know.
I mean, what was that moment, obviously, like before you actually met Dan? Like because we see you on the TV getting ready, and you know, you had your auntie there helping you, and you were getting ready, and you looked really, really good. And then obviously you had the trouble with the car. I remember that bit as well. That was quite quite funny. Like, was there any bits that you think like during that process, like what was going through your head, especially when the cameras are there and they're filming and you're about to go meet Dan? Like, what was going through your head at that point?
Well, to be honest, I had like a bit of a run-in with, I can't think of his name now, but his name's Jonathan Banks, I think. He was like
Okay.
on
Breaking
Breaking
Bad?
Bad, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so he was actually there for Comic-Con, right?
Oh,
Or one of
yeah.
those like things. And when my limousine broke down, I had to go back inside the hotel and wait. But I
Yeah.
wasn't even like nervous because he like just came up to me. Obviously, I was in a wedding dress. He was like, "Oh my God, are you getting married?" I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, producers looking at me like, "Shut up." Like, and
No,
I'm like,
no.
"But do you know who this is?"
Guy.
Like, do you know what I mean? And then he even offered to like give me a limousine, like to
No
get to my
way.
wedding and everything.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And the producers just like had to then come over to him and have a chat to him and be like, "Oh, you know, she's filming a TV show, da 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 da." And he was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." Like he felt so silly, but because I was like getting death stares, I didn't even know what to say. I was just like, "Oh yeah, I'm getting married." You know,
Yeah, I
like,
know.
"So no, that's
True,
the person,
true.
I'm getting married."
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah,
so
it was
cool, man.
wild. So I wasn't even worried about it, you know, because
Yeah.
I was like to my cousin, I'm like, "Oh my God, Tegan, do you know who that is?" She's like, "Yes." And he was
That is
just like
crazy.
so
What a way to
lovely.
start. That was amazing.
Yeah. So I guess I was on a bit of a high, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And then obviously, like, I mean, your venue was amazing. You guys got married in the, on the rooftop of the boat and that yacht.
Yeah.
It looked absolutely beautiful the way it got decked out
Yeah.
on the Sydney Harbour, and that was
It was
really amazing.
stunning. And the weather was like perfect.
Perfect, wasn't
Like
it?
I couldn't have even asked for a better day even if I tried. Like it just all worked so perfectly. It
I
was like a
mean,
perfect 27-degree day, like sun shining,
absolutely.
like the water was super smooth, like it
Blue
was just
skies.
blue skies. I mean, I was in heels and I was on a boat, and like, you know, when you're going through the harbor, you kind of get that like motion. I'm not
Yeah,
actually very good on boats,
yeah,
like big boats, like that slow, like this. I
yeah.
get like sick. So like I was standing there, I was just like, this is not okay. But I didn't expect it to be like that, you know?
Yeah. And all the people, like obviously we see a lot of people in the crowds. Are you guys told to invite like your family members and everybody that you know to come to the wedding? Is that like what the case is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So we could have a guest list of 25 to 30 people.
Okay.
So I didn't know how to choose this because my application process was very like sped up and really quick
Yeah.
because I came in as an intruder. I
Yeah.
guess they didn't realize what was going to go down with the earlier guys.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I kind of just like was really fast tracked. I think it all happened within like 3 weeks.
Wow.
And so I like chose, you know, some family friends, like some good friends,
Yeah.
like cousins. I did like a little mixture,
Yeah.
right? And Dan, like, he literally like invited the whole football team. It was like his mum and his sister, I think, were there. And then there was like all of the football boys, like the rugby boys.
Yeah.
And as soon as I seen that when I walked down the aisle, I was like, right, this guy's a lad, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
it's proper
I was
of a
like,
lad.
whether I'm attracted to him or not, we're probably going to get along, you know? Because I
Yeah.
just get along with boys. I have a twin brother. So I was like, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. And what was that like, especially when you invited your family? Like, how did that go? But like, what did you tell them? Hey guys, I'm getting married. They mustn't be like, wait, hang on a minute. Like, how
Yeah,
did
so
you
I
drop it?
wasn't
Did
even
you just
allowed
say
to
I'm
tell
doing a show,
them.
or how did you drop it?
So I wasn't allowed to tell them anything.
No way.
Yeah, no, they got emails from the Married at First Sight team.
Yeah.
And I think once the emails went out, I can't remember what they said, but it was something along the lines of Tamara's participating in an experiment. She's going to be getting married. She's invited you to her wedding. Can you come? And like, we need to know by this date so we can like book flights and all this sort of stuff. Obviously, it like in the email, they were told that they had to keep it all quiet, blah, 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 blah. And I think as soon as the emails went out, I had about like 20 phone calls within like 5 minutes.
Wow.
And a couple of my family and friends like thought it was spam email and just like deleted it. So I had a couple of people that didn't like reply to the producers or whatever, and they would be like, "Oh, have you gotten in contact with these people?" I was like, "No," but like, why would I? That's your job.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Oh my God, we put it in the bin. We thought it was junk," you know.
Yeah.
But I wasn't allowed to say anything because I had to surprise my family. So I guess I
Absolutely.
kind of had to keep it all hush hush.
Did you have to keep it hush hush to your dad too? Or did you let him in?
Okay, so I didn't tell my dad or my brother,
Okay.
but I told my auntie and my sister-in-law
Hmm.
just because they were going to film at my auntie's house, the
Ah,
reveal.
fair enough. Yeah.
Um, and I feel like if I had blindsided her, the reaction she would have given
Hmm.
would have been probably out of control.
Yeah.
So I was like trying to think who the safest bet for me to actually surprise was. And it was
Yeah.
my dad and my brother. Because I'm like completely like polar opposite to my dad and my brother. I like they're both quite like timid, chill, like
Yeah.
introverted people, whereas I am not. So it was actually quite funny, you know. My dad literally was just like eye roll. He was like, well, of course you would do something like this. Like, you know, he wasn't even phased by it. He was just like, you're an idiot, you're a fucking idiot, and then rolled his eyes and he was like, typical Tamara, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's funny. That's funny. And as weddings go, would that be something that if it didn't happen on that, would that something you would have done for yourself as a wedding in terms of, is that something you would have envisioned doing it for yourself, or is it not on your list at all?
No, I mean, do you mean like getting married on a boat?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not what I would do.
No, no, a venue
I
for
mean,
you.
I would never have even like thought to do something like that. I kind of want like I'd like a night wedding, you know, under the stars and the moon, like all like,
Nice.
I don't know, really romantic and cute. Like I'd
Yeah.
like something like that. Big white wedding under the moon and stars, you know, like
Different.
fairy tale kind of vibes. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. That sounds good. So you walk out to the aisle, you meet Dan for the first time, and then like, what is going through your head? What are you thinking? Oh my God, this guy. Did he tick all the boxes, or did he tick some, or what were you thinking?
So I mean, this is probably going to be a little bit like of a for everybody over in the UK who's going to be watching this, but I literally was like, I love people with nice teeth and a good
Hmm,
smile. You know, I really like to look after my teeth.
absolutely.
Um, so he's like standing there and turns around, he has this big smile, and I was just like, oh my God, he has veneers.
But you
I
said
was
you like
like,
you like good teeth and like good smile.
yeah, I know, but like, I don't know, like it just wasn't good.
It
Like
wasn't good. It
there are
wasn't.
some veneers out there that are really nice, you know,
Yeah,
but I just prefer like a natural looking
yeah,
white teeth rather than
yeah,
that real in your face
absolutely.
fake smile.
Yeah,
So that was my first thought. I was like, oh my God, he has veneers. Literally said to my dad, oh my God, he has veneers. And my dad's like, shut up. Um, and then I just obviously seen all the boys and I was just like, uh-oh, like,
yeah.
uh-oh. Like
Here we
literally
go.
that's
Here
all
we
I
go.
thought was, oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
But to be fair, when I got down to the end of the aisle and I like actually met him, he did make me feel very like, like
Chill.
I don't know, like I was very chill. So that was
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you do get along. Am I right to say you do get along with boys more than you do girls? Do you? Don't you? Like,
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
yeah. Did you just always grow up like, having more like guy friends than you did
Well, I
girlfriends?
have a twin brother.
Ah,
So because I have a twin brother, I
yeah.
literally grew up with like, you know, his best mates from school were like literally my brothers,
Yeah.
like my best mates. I mean, I'm not saying that I never had girlfriends. Like I had really, like I have a really tight group of girlfriends,
Yeah.
um, who I love dearly. But I generally did get along with the boys better. You know, they were always at our house playing video games or like in
Yeah.
the backyard. So I was always just getting involved with them.
Yeah.
You know, they'd have drinks on Friday nights in our backyard. You know, we had a bit of a party house.
Yeah.
So I was just always involved with the boys, really. And I guess like it was kind of like good growing up like that because they kind of gave me a thick skin. I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah.
I feel like they kind of prepared me for the backlash from MAFS. You
Yeah.
know, like I don't think there's any troll or anybody out there could say to me that they haven't already said to me, like, you know, from a very young age. So I'm just
Absolutely.
like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
got a bit of like gave me thick skin, I guess.
Yeah, which is good actually. So yeah, you should thank your brother for that. That's good because
Yeah.
that like now you
I mean,
can
at the
go
time
through
I was
life.
like, you're all assholes.
That's great. Yeah. Obviously, you guys then all went to your suite, and then you went off on your honeymoon. Where did you guys go for your honeymoon again?
Where did I go? Oh, Hunter Valley.
Hunter,
So it's
yes,
like a
that's what it was.
yeah, all the wineries and stuff.
Wineries
That's
and
where we
stuff.
went.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. And that was cool. You guys got to know each other and chilled. Everything was going great. I felt like you and Dan on paper looked great. Like even before we saw obviously what unfolded, you guys were going strong. Like the match looked like it was good on paper. Like and just from
Yeah, well,
what
the
we could
producers
see,
thought that was going to be the case. We literally got, we thought you guys were going to be our success story at the end.
Yeah. So like what? Okay, when you guys, it's crazy. When you guys were obviously like Hunter Valley, and then you moved into your apartment in Sydney, and then you came over to meet everybody at the dinner. What did you think of the group at the time? What was the vibe in there? Were you just like chilled, didn't know anything that was going on? Were you just like, okay, everybody's good and trying to mix in with other couples? Like, oh, what was your first feel after you met everyone?
Yeah, so we originally weren't supposed to know that we were intruders. We weren't told anything about that, although we did know, because Dan knew Ines prior to filming from up here in the Gold Coast.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure she sort of, I can't remember the conversations, but we had conversations about it, and we were pretty well aware that we were going to go in as intruders. So we were expecting like that everybody knew each other, and we were just going to sort of come in and I guess either shake things up or fit in. I don't know, but we were pretty across it, so it wasn't really that nerve-wracking for me.
Yeah.
I guess the worst part was, you kind of got to get in there coming into it late and everybody's already formed a friendship or a bond. And I think that's where like mine and Dan's relationship actually fell apart, is because we came in as intruders.
Yeah.
I think like obviously there was plenty other things, but that was like one of the things that started it. Because if I had been able to be in there, I probably would have been friends with, say, Martha, Ines, Jess. Therefore, it might not have turned out that way. I don't know. But like, I mean, I don't know how it could have gone. And maybe I wouldn't have been their friend, unsure. But, it was just harder for me to go in because I had to sort of break into the girls.
Yeah. I almost feel like if Ennis and Sam did not have that little situation that they had, it wouldn't have enticed Jess to do it. I feel like that almost kind of, she's saying that, okay, this is allowed and they've kind of got away with it and nothing was said.
Yeah.
I felt like then she thought, I can do what Ennis.
Did they get away with it though? I don't know if they
Well,
did.
they didn't get away with it, I know, but I just feel like it gave her kind of more, because sort of the girl code was sort of just gone at that point.
Yeah, that was a big thing on our season.
Yeah, there was no girl code.
Yeah.
And how did that, like, how did you know anything? Because the way they filmed it and the way they were showing it to us was that in the whole time you didn't know what Dan was doing. And like sometimes they would show him you're in the house and he would come outside, take a call, and he was talking to Jess while it's you in the house. And like you completely, like, did you completely not have no idea that this guy's completely lost interest? Or like, could you not read his vibes? Like how?
I mean, I guess what you see of me, like me and Dan, is the storyline that they want to show. So there are a lot of other conversations that we've had on camera or other interactions we've had on camera, but that's just not made it to air because it didn't fit the storyline of obviously Jess and Dan cheating.
Yeah.
I was told, I don't know if I'm even allowed to say this actually, but I did meet up with one of the experts in Bali. And she sort of said to me, I was a bit worried for you at the start. And I was like, why? And she was like, well, because if Dan and Jess didn't do the whole cheating thing, you probably would have looked like a bitch. And I was like, right, well, that was a win for me then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I guess that's just because, I didn't really feel a connection to Dan at all, but only in a friendship way. Like him and I did, like, I'm not even joking, we got along. Like him and I could go down to the pub, we'd have beers, and we'd get along like best buds. Like really, we had some great banter, great vibes, and it was fun, I'm not gonna lie. But there was just no like chemistry there for me or him, in, you know what I mean? Like we were
Actually,
just sort of,
yeah.
we were just trying to, I guess, push for something that wasn't really there. And I think in the end, that sort of like made us resent each other a whole lot more, because, you know, we were being sort of forced in this marriage, forced in this relationship that you don't really want to be in. And like, if you think about it in the real world, if you're in a relationship you're not happy with, like
You
you
go out.
self-sabotage and you do, you know what I mean?
Exactly. No, you're
So
right.
I like, it was like that, but it was just heightened because I really didn't want to be there.
Mm.
You know, I was on the phone to my girlfriend so many times, like FaceTiming and being like, I just want to leave. Like, I don't want to be here. Like mentally, it was exhausting.
Yeah, I bet that did look exhausting for anyone. I mean,
Mm.
watching it, just I can imagine like being through it. And the cameras, are they always 24/7 around you guys, or do they kind of break off
No,
in and
so not
out?
always.
Okay.
There would be a break. So you would either start, like you'd get a call time in the morning. It'd be like, sometimes it'd be ridiculous, like 4 a.m. Sometimes it'd be like 6 or like 9. But on a normal like filming day, you'd probably be home and like in your like own comfort without the cameras. I guess sometimes like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. But then like on the dinner debt, like the, what are they, cocktail parties and the
Yeah.
commitment ceremonies, they would be like ridiculous
Full
hours.
on.
So we would be up at like 8 a.m. and then filming until like 4
Wow.
a.m. Like they'd
No
be
way.
big days.
Wow.
Yeah. So they like, you weren't like filmed when you were sleeping, basically.
Yeah.
So
No.
that's also when a lot of people have a lot of time to actually talk about things, like when the cameras aren't there. And we were
Yeah.
told, you know, don't have those important conversations when there's no cameras. Like call your producer and they'll come down with a little camera. And me and Dan were just like, get fucked. Like you're in our
Yeah.
face 24/7. You think we're gonna call you? No.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. And were
Yeah.
you guys like anywhere, like were you given like storylines like, okay guys, today talk about this, or were you just kind of going on about your day?
We're just sort of like, they obviously know a lot about you.
Mm.
So, you know, you put in like your pet peeves, like your fears, things like that, you know? So I guess you're put in situations that is going to bring out either the best in you or the worst in you. And
Nice.
then that just kind of facilitates the day. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's not like it's planned, it's not scripted. It's almost like, okay, for example, like on our honeymoon,
Mm.
I have a fear of heights and birds. So we went on a hot air balloon.
Yeah.
Like, what? You know, I was like in a basket with string and a balloon, like
Yeah.
filled with fire. Like that to me was not okay. But, you know, Dan like got me into it, got me through it. So do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like they just put you in awkward or like shit situations just so it like, I don't know, sparks conversation or like triggers
Yeah.
you, I guess.
Absolutely. No, that's yeah, you can see that.
Mm.
All the other couples, like obviously, you see the different couples that made it to the end, and obviously, I guess the success story out of it was Cam and Joe's. Like,
Yeah.
are they actually like I think are they actually as what we saw? Is that how it was for you guys? Is that how you felt it?
Um, mm, I mean, Jules and Cam, yeah, like they're the success story. They're married now, have a baby, and you know, congratulations to them.
Yeah.
I don't really have much comments on them though. I don't
Yeah.
really want to like speak about them.
All right. Nah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. We won't go into that.
I'm not saying I don't like them or anything, but like I just, you know, that could open like a whole nother can of worms. You know, we could talk about that for hours. You know, their relationship and like that, whatever their journey was, you know, yeah, we did see that. We've seen what you guys seen, you know.
Yeah.
We don't know what went on behind closed doors, basically.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. How when we saw the Dan, like when the whole thing came out, like were you kind of expecting like something was gonna go down that day, or did you know like you know like it was all gonna come out? Like how did you how or were you just caught off guard?
I was caught off guard. I mean, I do get this question a lot. A lot of people like, how did you not know? Like, how did you not see? You could clearly see them walking away. But what you don't realize is, and these, for example, dinner parties or whatever, there's like 50 staff working behind the scenes. So they're all there to make sure that I don't see what's going on. You know, they'd pull me out for a one-on-one interview and then let Jess and Dan like walk off and do their thing. And I'd have no idea because I'd be completely doing something different.
Different, yeah.
Or even like that very first dinner party when Jess was flirting with Dan, did I notice slightly? Yes, like you all seen that. But did I know to the extent? No, because, you know, there's, you know, 12 other couples around the dinner table or however many, and, you know, you're trying to get to know everybody. So you're not really fully focused. I mean, I am somebody who's pretty aware of my surroundings and like pretty aware of what my man's doing. I'm not going to lie. So did I notice? Yeah. But did I know to the extent? Well, no, because I wasn't right next to them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get that. Absolutely, absolutely. And obviously, like, I know we've gone into too much about it. Would you recommend anybody to do it? And was it a great experience? I mean, what did you take away from it? What was something that you said, you know what, I'm glad I went in, I took this out of it, or did you not completely take nothing out of it at all? And was it just a complete waste of your time? Like, what would you say?
Look, what I would say is if you do want to do something like this, I just think you have to be a very strong person. Like if you feel like, you know, something triggers you small, like from reading something online, then you don't want to be in that fishbowl environment because it is toxic as hell. Like I'm talking so toxic. You have to be so mentally like stable to be able to do something like this. I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
And I personally wasn't somebody who was mentally stable. I felt like I went through a shit show. Like it was a wild time. Do I regret it? No. Would I do it again? Probably. I'm a little bit psycho. So yeah, probs. I'd probably put myself through hell. Why not? I guess, I mean, obviously if I knew what the outcome was going to be, I definitely wouldn't do it again. But, you know, I'd never say never to something like that. I think everything in life comes at you for a reason. And this was just, you know, a chapter in my book, and it was an experience for me. Was it a positive one? Not necessarily. But, you know, I did meet some really good people and I've made some really good friends out of it. So I don't have any regrets from going on the show at all.
Yeah, no, 100%. Obviously you spoke a little bit about you have to be mentally strong. Like let's talk a little bit about that. Like what happened after you left, like the backlash online? Like how was that? Was it a positive, like, you know, was it positive people commenting on you? Was it positive, or did you get a lot of trolls? Or was it a lot of negativity? And, you know, people, like, how was that?
Okay, so for me, somebody who was probably, you know, well perceived on the show, I still got a lot of hate. I still got a lot of trolls. I still got death threats, just like everybody else.
Wow.
You know, I don't know. It's really hard to say. Like I did have some like lovely support, some beautiful messages, and I still get beautiful messages from over in the UK to like now, even though it's finished. And I am so thankful, and I love reading them, and it does make you feel, you know, a type of way. It's really nice to, you know, see that people can sort of see the real you, even though it's kind of like this tiny little snippet of you, you know. But I did get a lot of hate, like a lot of name calling, a lot of death threats, a lot of you know, really nasty comments about no wonder your mom passed away because she couldn't be like stand to be around somebody like you, like really nasty and cruel things. And I just think if, you know,